Hi everyone, it's Nat. Hope you're all doing well. So I have been asked to show a tutorial on how I made my paper buttons yesterday. So these are the ones that I made yesterday and I really love the way they turned out. And it's so handy because you can customize them to suit the theme or color of whatever journal or embellishments or crafty project that you're making. So I managed to go online and find these button punches. Now they're a bit annoying. I wish that it was just the one circle with the holes all in one, because I have to try and line up numerous layers and get the holes all even, which can be a bit difficult. But we did as good as we could yesterday. So now this is not a new idea. I have seen people over the last year, I've seen heaps of people use this technique to make various sorts of buttons as well as other embellishments like these. These are other ones that I have made. They're like faux chipboard embellishments with just layers of cardboard and scrapbook paper on the top. These ones haven't been sealed with anything though, but they're really nice to add to your projects. Good way of using up, you know, recycling your cardboard for the layers and your little bits of scrap paper. Okay, so I'm using peppermint tea box. So yes, I always make the mistake of cutting out the circle first, which is not a good idea because it's impossible to hold in there to cut out the holes. So you want to do your holes first. I have learnt the hard way. And then you've got to try and centre the holes as well as you can within the circle. You'll see how I go. I was lucky yesterday because my daughter was here, so I was able to get her to do a whole lot of cutting of the circles for me. So I'll just do 2 of those because I have some leftovers from yesterday's effort. Now I have a whole lot of scrap beautiful Christmassy paper here, left over from my Christmas journal. It's the Naughty or Nice collection from Couture Creations, so I reckon that will be perfect for what we want to do. So I will go in and just get a few of these to use. Thought it'd be nice to make some Christmassy ones since it's that time of the year. I'll use some of the different bits and pieces here, get some of the little berries that we've got on the holly. So I hope you're all doing well. Getting a fair bit of rain here in South Australia this morning, which is really nice. Do one more out of this lot, I think. Getting little circles everywhere. Just move them out of the way. Now, there's this nice sparkly bauble there, so I think that'll be great for one. Let's have a look. This would be nice as well. Now, do I have any? I've got that one that's red. Might just try and find. Got some red paper here that looks really pretty. Alright, now the next thing we want to do is stack them. Now you could leave them just as that and seal them if you want them really flat in your journals, and that's what I love about making your own as well. Sometimes you don't want the bulk, so you can make nice flat ones. But for today I'm going to do 2 layers of the cardboard and then the paper on top of that. So what I've got to try and do is line them up. None of them will probably line up perfectly, but if you can see, that one's not too bad. So we'll stick that one together. So I've got to go out this afternoon. I have the bookstore I volunteer at has its Christmas get-together lunch. Well, it's more like an afternoon tea today, so I'll go to that. Now they're not lined up perfectly, but it doesn't matter because when I stick them down onto something, I will probably put some threads in them, which will hide that a bit. And you don't notice it too much, like none of these were lined up perfectly. And it's not too noticeable. So I'll just leave those bits to dry a bit while we do the next one. I'll just do 3 or 4 of them. Just get a tissue. We don't want the glue to block up the holes, so just dab it out. And that one doesn't want to line up very well. I reckon it's that one that's a bit off. That's looking pretty good. I mean, you can do like 4 layers or whatever if you want a real nice thick one as well. Up to your individual tastes and what you're going to be using them for. That's not too bad. Right, so I think that'll do for those. Now, just wanted, there it is. Got my fine tip glue here. It's been having trouble coming out. I think I need to get some more of these applicators. But I'm finding it a bit easier to put the top layer on with that. So I'll just make sure it's going to line up semi-okay. It's not too bad. It'd be better to not have the green underneath. It's not too bad. I just have the plain cardboard, but that'll work anyway. We will make it work. You could just use your, you know, like a red cardstock or something as well. I just wanted to use up some of my boxes that I have in my recycling. Now, I just got to wait a little bit for the glue to get down to the tip. I think it's getting a bit thick, the glue in here. Needs a change. Let's see how we go. Not a lot wants to come out, that's for sure, but I don't need it too much. I'm just going to get the top on quickly before the glue dries. So it's not perfectly aligned, but you get the gist. That's where it'll be much better if you could get a button punch that does it all in one, which I'm sure there must be one out there. So The good thing about this set though is I can punch holes in different shapes if I want to make butterfly buttons and all sorts of different buttons. So I'm going to try that out sometime. Oops. And glue's going to dry before I get it on there. Right, 2 more to go. I might do this glittery bauble piece. I think that'll be nice. Trouble lining them up today, that's for sure. Keep turning it till I find which way it goes. I did have it at the start. Maybe a bit of this. Alright, they're not perfect, but for the sake of this tutorial, they're okay. Alright, so there are buttons, as are, and I mean you could always just leave them like that if you wanted to, but the Dimensional Magic that I'm using adds that really nice coating and does make it dimensional. Which is this Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. I have seen people use other stuff like Glossy Mod Podge. Excuse me. There's probably a lot of other products like this that you can find around. It's the first time I've used anything like this, and my daughter had left this here when she moved out, so I thought I'd give it a go, and I love the way it worked. I have seen people use embossing powder and a number of coats of embossing powder also to do this to the buttons. So what I do is get a skewer or something pointing, and it helps me. Hope you can see. I'm left-handed, so it's a dilemma. I'll try and hold it over this side so you can see. So I just use the skewer to stick through one of the holes just to hold on to it for a bit. Now the first time I grabbed this, I shook it a bit because it looked like it needed mixing, and then I read on the back it said do not shake because it causes bubbles. Oops. And as soon as I took the lid off yesterday, it started coming out, so I had to sort of work a bit quickly with it. But basically, you just move it around and wiggle it around to see that it's coated the whole lot. And it is like a big blob of it that goes on there, which I thought, you know, maybe you spread it out, but you don't because you want that dimension. So I just move it around, and I'm trying to avoid the holes because it could close the holes over. So that's one done there. So you just repeat the process. Now, yesterday some of the holes did get covered. So if that happens, I will show you afterwards how I dealt with that. Might not happen here if I'm careful though. That's the second one. Now they do stick a bit if it goes through the holes, and that it will stick a bit to the greaseproof paper, but I recommend definitely having your greaseproof paper because I was able to pull them off very easily. It says on the bottle 3 hours to dry, and I reckon after 3 hours they were pretty dry, but just to be safe I did leave them overnight. So it's really easy and so much fun. And as I said, you don't have to stick to just doing buttons. You can do your faux chipboard embellishments as well with all your different punched shapes or die cut shapes. They make great little gifts and additions to journals and that. Now this one, I don't know if you can see, but this one of the holes has been blocked off. So I'll just put the lid on my Dimensional Magic. Actually, I'll just wipe the tip off with a tissue first and put the lid on. Put that to the side. So what I did was, before it dried, it took me a while last night, but I just went in with my little skewer and just twirled it in there and wiped it off onto a tissue, and bit by bit that got the level down to where the hole wasn't blocked anymore. There's probably easier ways, but this is what I had, so this is what I used. It can take a while. I had to unblock about 6 of them last night, which took me a while, but it is getting there. So yeah, as you can see, it's very quick and easy. The hardest part is trying to line up the holes, which I haven't done very well today, but oh well. So when you stick them on, you can put your thread through and you wouldn't even notice that. The other thing is, you can go around the edges, because the edges are just your raw cardboard colour. I have seen people colour in the edges with black Sharpie, or paint the edges, or ink the edges, so you can do that as well. I haven't bothered on mine, as I'll show you. I did do 1 or 2 on it with black and I didn't like it, so I've left these, and I quite like that. But that's what I mean by, you could use like card that corresponds for your layers if you like, and then you don't have to worry so much about that. Have I got, no, I didn't bring one of the ones that I coloured black in. But yeah, you have options there to paint or colour them different colours and that around the edges if you like, and ink them up. Now this is nearly done. 1 or 2 more. Just move it. See, it's already sticking to the grease proof, but as I said, once it's dry it comes off a lot easier. Just don't want the hole covered over, or else we won't be able to get any thread through if we want to. Alright, that's done. So I'm going to see if I can lift them up without spilling them. Now it does look a little milky when you put it on Dimensional Magic, but of course that goes clear as it dries. So they're my little Christmas buttons. So yeah, have fun. Hope you make a whole heap, and if you do, if you're on any of the Facebook groups or anything, I'd love to see some photos or a video if you do make some. I think they're just awesome little embellishments. So they're the other ones that are all nice and dry. So take care and have a good day. Happy crafting. See you later, everyone.